What is a box breathing technique? And why is it important for you to be armed with this and keep it in the arsenal of your self-management toolkit? Stress is something that you and I deal with every single day. It's from the moment you get up in the morning till when you go to bed. And if we're really honest, when we're super stressed, sleeping is not something that can say that I do or you do, because we're constantly mulling over or ruminating through whatever process or stress or challenge that you deal with every single day. It's there in the back of your mind. So being able to use the Bach technique allows you to reduce your heart rate, calm down your breathing, minimize the cortisol from just shooting through all of your veins and keeping you in this heightened state. Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a certified life coach. I have 4 kids. One of them is autistic, 2 of them are stepkids, and another one is a chosen daughter. I can tell you stress is something that I know well. I run my own thriving practice. I am married for the 2nd time. I moved from the US to Sweden for love and married again, and have just folded and unfolded and packed and unpacked so many aspects of my life that this box technique, I can assure you, works in being able to manage your own stress and your own levels so that you can improve how you're able to assess what's going on in your life and improve your self-management skills. Because at the end of the day, everything that you and I do in our everyday life is, on one level or another, skill related. So let's get into it. Box technique. First, stress. Where does it come from and why do we have this? Stress is such an important part of your life when it's used as it's designed. Stress is here to help you go, hey, what's going on here? Is something coming after me? Your pulse goes up, your breathing goes up, your heart rate goes up, and it's designed to make you move and get you out of harm's way. The thing is, we live in a world, especially in a westernized world, there's not so much danger coming at us. For most of us. I'm not saying for everyone, but for most people, you have a house, you have 1 or 2 cars, your kids are healthy, they're going to school, both of you have a job, you're working, your refrigerator has food. Let's be honest, it's a pretty luxurious life, right? But management of our stress level is not always the best. And studies are coming out more and more stating how stress really shoots up the numbers for diabetes and increased anything that has to do with cancer or with high blood pressure or dealing with anything that diminishes the quality of our life. So learning how to do the box techniques helps you to be able to manage your stress and recognize at the end of the day, what is it? What is it that I want to do? And how am I going to get from where I am to where I want to be? So utilizing the stress technique is, one, I'm going to show you how it's done. Secondly, I'm going to walk you through it. And the third one, you and I are going to do it together so it gets solid in your brain and you'll be able to remember it and use it every single day, and then use it as a default tool when you really need it. So here we go. The box technique is 4 parts, 4 counts. You inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. So you inhale to the count of 4. You hold to the count of 4. You exhale to the count of 4, and you hold to the count of 4. Now you try it. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. This box technique is immeasurable in being able to bring you down and giving you the access to recognize why are you stressed to begin with and start answering the questions. What happens to each and every one of us when we are in a super stressful situation and we allow fear to take over? And once fear takes over, then our thoughts and our emotions just kind of creep in, and it just steers you away from the scenario that's really at place. It's putting you in a fight or flight response. Now, on my channel, there's an entire video on fight or flight response. But for you and I to understand why using the box technique is so important is to recognize the fight or flight response is anytime you feel that you're in danger, you're in this state, your cortisol levels go up, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, your breathing goes up, everything to get you to move as quickly as possible. So this is how it shows up in you and I. Fight. You're ready to go. Freeze. You're so overwhelmed with all the information in front of you, you don't know what to do. Or you flee. You're out of here. Do you know which one of the fight or fight responses is something that you use every single day? Because it's a great tip to help you recognize what is my fight or flight response. And when this happens, it helps you to just use your box breathing technique to help you calm down and help you look at the situation and challenge in front of you and recognize you're not really in danger. You're just afraid. And then why are you afraid? And then use your solution-focused techniques that you learn here throughout the channel on how to be able to calm yourself down, manage your emotions, recognize your thoughts and your emotions are just going, mira, mira. Don't you see that there's something here for us to deal with? And I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. That's all your thoughts and emotions do. So when you recognize the box breathing technique, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4 is such an invaluable resource for you to maintain in your little tool belt of self-management skills. So now let's think about this box tool technique. How do you use it in your everyday life? So let's think about a scenario. Married, you're getting in an argument with your partner, your spouse, you're ticked off, it's a moment, and you're getting ready to go in and tell them all about themselves and their mother and their family because you're aggravated and upset and you're hurt, which is what so many of us do. It's important to recognize any time that you and your spouse are in a heated argument, typically it's a miscommunication, and it's something that just needs to be shared. Just being open and honest and communicating effectively, which is also a skill. So when you're going out there and living your absolute most lovely life, think about this. In the car, the kids are driving you batty. And you are stressed because you're on the way to work, you're 10 minutes late, you have a presentation. Or you're stressed because you're going to go in and ask your boss for a raise. Or you're stressed because there's 150 emails waiting for you when you get there. Or it could be that you're going to go on the top of a skyscraper, and even though you're used to it, you're going to be training 5 people today, and it has you a little bit stressed, which makes so much sense. So instead of being like, woof, I'm just stressed, let me take a couple of deep breaths, your kids are in the back seat going crazy, and you're like, what? Stop it! Right? And everybody gets like, hey, what's the problem? Why are you screaming at us like that? Which is something to help you to remind yourself to just, you're thinking in the future, you're not being in the present, which makes you stress. Thinking about all the other things that at this moment, it's completely out of your control has you stressed. Your cortisol levels are up really high, your breathing's up really high, your heart rate's up really high. Using the box technique allows you to bring it down and recognize, what is it in front of me that I can control? What is it in front of me that is to be solved, so you can move forward with what will inevitably always be the next challenge in your life. So as you're going out there in your beautiful life, remember, the box technique is such a great way to bring you down and assess the situation before you. Become solution oriented and think about, this is where I am. How do I get from here to there? What is it that I need to do next? And remember, in addition to box technique, when you're having those negative thoughts that are taking you to those not so good places and bringing you down the barrel of death and destruction, you, darling, are in complete control of that. Use your breathing technique. Use your box breathing technique again. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold to the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. And bring yourself back to this present moment. When you're having those negative thoughts that are spiraling out of control, do your best to go, I'm having a negative thought. What is it that I'm thinking of? And how do I reframe this thought that's going to allow me to get to where I want to go? So for example, the kids are in the back seat and they're losing, they're in a moment. And instead of you going down with them, you use the box technique and go, how do I get them to calm down? Or how do I get them to lower their voice? Or how do I get them to just sit down and relax before we go? Hey guys, it's getting a little something back there. How do you guys sit in the back seat and let's talk about, what are you going to do at school today? Or what are your activities like afterwards? Or do you have any plans of what you want to do for the weekend? Because that also helps you to build your relationship together with the kids. It's the same thing that happens when you're in an argument with your partner. Again, it's always a disagreement. It's a miscommunication in some way. And we get in our mind and our thoughts that somehow this person doesn't love or doesn't want something, which is not true. It's your partner, it's your spouse, they love you. You love them. You're just having a moment, and it's about finding, what is the bridge for me to connect to you? And before I can have that bridge, I must calm myself down and use the box breathing technique to be able to reevaluate what is the stressful moment here and communicate effectively and concisely how to get from here to there. I trust that this box technique is something that you will use every day in your life. Remember, stress is something that is inevitably part of everything that you and I do, and it's important to recognize it's up to us to be able to manage it, you and I. So keep this in the arsenal of your tools for self-management. When you use it this week, write a comment below and let me know how it worked for you. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you like the content, and please share it with all your friends so we can build and develop a fabulous community. You can always catch me on my website at vanessaleecurley.com. You can always book a free consultation if you have something that you really want to work on. Just go over there and let's connect. And you can always find me every single day at Words by Vanessa on Instagram. There's always little tidbits of information that you can just read real quick. They're 30 seconds or a minute that gives you that idle, wonderful information that helps you live this beautiful, marvelous life. And it's always pertaining to lifestyle, health and wellness, and relationships.